How does flood zone status affect buying a home in South Florida?
So I'll start.
Yeah, sure.
Florida is interesting when it comes to flood zones, right? You could be on the water and not be in a flood zone, right? You could be on a lake, you could be on the intercoastal and not be in a flood zone, and then go inland a mile, and all of a sudden that's a flood zone. So the way FEMA maps these things dictates your situation, right?
And it changes over time, too.
Yeah, I was
it's
just
not static forever.
Exactly. FEMA.
So one year you might not be in a flood zone, and next you find out you are. So.
100. My house, perfect example. Not in a flood zone. Now I'm in a flood zone. Okay. FEMA changed the rules or the map. I don't know, a year ago, whatever it was, and so now I'm in a flood zone. Now I have to have flood insurance. So really, if you're not in an X flood zone, your lender, if you have one, is going to require flood insurance, right? And so flood insurance increases if you're in a flood zone that's if you're in one of the flood zones.
Official flood
zone.
Sure.
An official flood zone. So your insurance price is going to go up. If you're in the next flood zone, well, that's great because the insurance price is going to be down and you're not going to be required to carry it if you want. The reality is just be super direct with you. Like, we don't stress about this very much. Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I have toured real estate in other parts of the country. And there's other parts of the country I'm more worried about floods. The Carolinas, when we were in the Carolinas, there were some houses.
Just had the flood of the century or the millennium in the mountains of North Carolina, which we never had anything like that, or at least that I've seen in my lifetime being born and raised here in South Florida. But we are the ones that pay exponentially higher flood prices. So it's quite interesting.
It's kind of interesting. That house we toured was like at the bottom of this ravine, and we're like looking at this thing, and it's like water's everywhere around it, and it's this little house, and it's like that's concerning. Most homes in South Florida are not really, in my opinion, concerning regarding flood zones. Like, I haven't really bumped into it. So really, I think just if you're in a flood zone, you get flood insurance. And that's kind of how it goes.
I think one of the key things to do, though, and tell me if I'm wrong here, with your buyers when they are getting under contract, do you have them shop for insurance pretty quickly just to get quotes and understand what their exposure is on insurance? What does that look like?
So while it's nice to try to, and this is a great comment, right? Like, it's kind of hard to shop for insurance without a 4-point and a wind mitigation. We can go down the rabbit hole on this,
sure.
But just to like keep it high level, it's like, hey, in South Florida or Florida in general, in most cases, you have to have a home inspection to really get the documents the insurance companies need to give you a real quote. The quotes can be $5,000, they can be $50,000, depending on what comes out of that home inspection. And the 4-point and wind mid are the two inspection documents that lender or insurers use to do this. Now, when it comes to flood zone stuff, we can quote that pretty quickly. So, or I might reach out to the insurance broker and just say, hey, buyers looking at this home, we're pretty interested.
Estimate. Give me an idea. What range are we looking at here?
What do you think? So I tell most people when it comes to insurance, not flood insurance, but when it comes to just insurance, usually thinking like 1% of purchase price is like a good rule of thumb, but it could be plus or minus dramatically depending on how well protected the home is for hurricanes or how little it is.
But you can lock that down after they get the wind mid and 4-point, which happens during the inspection period.
This goes back to just having a good realtor, and we talked about this in the previous questions we've answered. Hey, like, you should have a good, solid quote for home insurance. Flood, wind, liability, hazard, all of that should be back to you before you exit your inspection period. I help buyers on the listing side to make sure this is done, and I am baffled that agents aren't on the ball with this shit. It's incredible. It's incredible how dumb this is, because what happens, why do I help buyers on the listing side? Because what happens is the day before your loan commitment, what does the lender say? Hey, we can't get insurance. We need to renegotiate the deal, right? But guess what? Like, that creates a bigger problem.
Sure.
For you as the buyer, you're in a way worse situation. You spent 22 days screwing around, like, thinking you're buying this house, now you're not. Or, hey, now all of a sudden you thought you were paying $7,000 in insurance, now you're paying $20,000. And so it just becomes this huge situation. And so, like, I help sell
better
it.
to get ahead of it, even if it's the buyer and you're the listing agent, because you'd rather them cancel the deal on day 7 rather than wait till day 22 or day 30 and get a loan denial.
That's me representing the seller. Me representing the buyer, it's like, guys, let's protect our escrow again. Let's
100%.
because you put it at risk once you cross that 7-day threshold. Period. hard stop. No one disputes you within 7 days. No one disputes you in the DD period. No one
Due diligence period.
No
Absolutely.
one disputes that. They release the escrow.
That's it.
You cross that threshold,
All bets are off.
all bets are off. I don't care if you have a loan commitment, sale of home contingency, HOA denies you, all bets are off. Like there's going to be some level of pushback, whether it goes to your level or if it's just like a 2-week back and forth fighting each other, attorneys sending mean letters, right?
Agreed.